Government has finally signed 3 wind power projects that will add 420 megawatts to the grid and help curb the worsening electricity crisis in the country. The 3 projects fall under bid window 5 of the Renewable Energy Independent Power Producer Procurement Program launched in April of 2021. Now, the signing of the other 22 successful IPP bidders will be announced before the end of October. The Mineral Resources and Energy Department signed Coleskop, Kraal and Phezukomoya wind power projects in Centurion. The 3 wind projects will offer onshore wind energy technologies. Now, let's discuss this. We are now joined via Zoom by Ruse Moleshe, an energy infrastructure financial planner. Ruse, thank you so much for your time this afternoon, and happy Heritage Day.
Thank you, Nati, and thank you. Happy Heritage Day to you and the viewers.
All right, now perhaps let's start here. I mean, given also just, the criticism that has been leveled, towards government in terms of its slow pace, is there a future for renewable energy in this country, just given the current constraints, particularly from an infrastructure and a financial perspective?
There is a future for renewable energy in South Africa. Renewable energy, the driver behind the development of such projects are environmental concerns. These are driven not only by South Africa's interests, but they are driven by international requirements for South Africa to have relatively clean sources of energy.
Now let's talk about these, these 3 projects. Of course, our country is in desperate need for more energy generation capacity. Is the government going at an efficient pace, to avoid what many are now saying is a looming blackout for South Africa, which is quite pessimistic, but given the current situation we're in, it's starting to seem like a reality.
The pace that we are going at is, I wouldn't call it necessarily efficient, because we did have delays in the past. And also we had delays with the current procurement program due to Eskom having to provide for documentation that relates to the infrastructure connecting in the transmission and distribution infrastructure. So there have been delays, but we are told Eskom is working on the future procurement rounds to make sure that those impediments are dealt with.
I would imagine the pessimism comes in if you look at the 420, megawatts that these 3 IPPs would provide versus the over 2,500 megawatts that is expected, particularly in this year. Of course, government saying that it is going to be signing the other 22 projects by October. Are you confident that that will happen?
I guess if they are saying they will sign, that they probably know how far those projects are. Those projects had challenges with respect to the tariffs were relatively low, and the logistics that relate to China and production of manufacturing that is used in these projects. So yes, I think that if they say they're going to sign, they're probably going to sign, but we need to bear in mind that this signing is legal signing. There is still going to be financial close, which needs to be reached with the lenders, and then there will be a construction period, which is going to take its own time before we get the power plants generating electricity that can be connected to the grid.
In fact, 60 days, they've got 60 days to reach that financial close, and then another 24 months or so to build the infrastructure. What happens in the meantime in terms of this current situation that we are finding ourselves in terms of load shedding, whilst we wait for this process to happen? And particularly if you look at what is then to come in October, if it's 24 months to build infrastructure for the 3, I would imagine we're talking a couple of years for the rest of the 22 projects.
Yes. So what happens, we don't only need the capacity that will come from renewable energy. We need capacity that will be stable, that also comes from Eskom coal-fired power stations. In fact, those are the base in terms of which most of our power generation comes from. So renewable energy supplement that, and obviously they don't bring in as much capacity without backup, which is in our case diesel and hydropower technology. So I don't want to leave an impression that if all of those projects come on stream, then all of everything is going to be hunky-dory. The capacity that comes from Eskom should also be come to the party.
Exactly. Let's talk about that capacity then that needs to come from Eskom. What are we currently seeing now, in terms of, as they get their ducks in a row, so to speak? Are we likely then to see that parallel process whilst we wait for these systems, to be complete? Are we likely to see Eskom coming to the party then in a matter of days or weeks?
We have been expecting some improvements in terms of Eskom performance for quite a while, since 2019, when we had a new CEO coming in and signing in performance KPIs that indicate that the situation will improve. Obviously, the situation has not improved. Instead, it's gotten worse. So it's very difficult to say whether or not we will be on top of the situation. But there are a few things that have been done that are positive in terms of Eskom being allowed to procure from original equipment manufacturers to support them in the operation and maintenance program. So if that can be expedited, it will help a bit, but there's no telling how long this will take.
All right. Thank you so much, Ruse, for your time this afternoon. Really do appreciate your analysis. Of course, we were speaking to Ruse Moleshe. She's an energy infrastructure and financial planner. Thank you so much for your time.